Hey everyone, just wanted to do a video today on the bow that I use and the setup that I use on my bow. I'm not a professional hunter, and this is not the only setup out there, but this is what I use, and I'm happy with the setup that I have. Um, the bow is a bowtech experience. This bow was manufactured for 4 years, from 2013 to 2016. This is a 2015 model, which actually all 4 years they were made the same. The draw weight on this particular bow is a max of 70 pounds. I have this bow set up at 70 pounds. Axle to axle is 32 inches. You've got a 7-inch brace height, and this bow weighs in at 4.2 pounds out of the box without anything on it. Okay. Trying to think what else. 335 feet per second is what they claim this bow will do. Now that's best case scenario, I'm sure, with all the testing facility and all that, but I can tell you with this setup that I have now, I'm sure I'm probably close to that 300 mark for sure. So a very fast bow, a very forgiving bow, a very quiet bow. This bow is very quiet, and it's got 80% let off, so it's very smooth and easy to hold at full draw. The stabilizer you see on here is called a quivalizer. Now, the reason for that is it's a stabilizer plus the quiver all in one. This detaches. You can actually put it here in the regular quiver position if you need to. But I haven't had a lot of time with this. I did a quick review on this product, and what I've done with it so far I like. Okay, we'll do more videos with that in the future. The sight is a Trophy Ridge. This is the React 1. It's a single pin sight. I've got mine set up for 20 yards to 100 yards. Okay, I do have the ability to go below or past that 100-yard mark. I haven't done it yet, but we'll get to that point someday. The rest is a Trophy Taker Smackdown Pro. It's a drop away rest. This one I have set up on the limb. You can hook it up to the bus cable like the regular drop-aways, but I have mine hooked up to the limbs. A very good rest. This is a expensive rest, but it is a good quality rest. The Trophy Taker line and the Trophy Ridge line are the two lines that I have not changed on my bows throughout the years. I love both of these product lines, and they've been very reliable for me. One thing I will tell you, you beginning archers, if you go to the single pin sight, make sure that you understand that has to be changed every time that yardage changes, and that can be a learning curve. It was for me when I first had this on my bow, and I actually put a note here on my riser telling me to change that each time, because when I first started shooting with this, I would get it set up, go and start practicing at those 60-70 yard marks, call it a day, come back out the next day, and not quite be happy with the way it was shooting, so I'd go back to that 20 and 30 yard, not resetting this and lose an arrow. Okay, so that's one of the things you want to keep in mind with that single pin sight. So other than that, I think that's it for the bow. The arrows I use are gold tips. I used to shoot the Carbon Expresses, and I went to the gold tips. I did some research on the gold tips, and I really liked what I saw with the stats and stuff on the gold tips. So I changed over to the gold tips. This is the Hunter series, the 300s. It's a heavy arrow. This right now, the way I have it set up, is 446 grains, and a very heavy arrow. But with that 70-pound draw, you've got to have that for the kinetic energy and to keep that arrow flying true. This is a 28.5-inch cut arrow. The 125-inch field tips on the front with the broadhead, also 125 grain. I use blazer vanes with the wraps. I do all that myself. I also have a 10 grain what I want to say, insert in the front of this that drops inside of the shaft and screws into your insert. I use lighted nocks when I'm hunting. I don't have them on here now, but you know, that's a heavy arrow, and it's coming in. It worked very well this year. Taking the 2 deer that I did shoot, I hit them in the front shoulders and broke them down. I mean, it broke them down hard. They didn't go very far at all, and it was a very easy blood trail. The broadheads that I use are, and I've used a lot of broadheads over the years, but the one I keep going back to is a mechanical and a Wasp. The Wasp line is a very good broadhead, and the particular one that I use, I'm not sure what the line is, but if you look at that cutting diameter, that is, you've got over 1.75 inches, maybe even closer to 2 inches of cutting area surface there. So a very good mechanical broadhead. It's got a chisel tip, and one thing I will tell you, beginner hunters, if anything you learn from this is always get a broadhead with a chisel tip. That's what's going to go through that bone. You know, some of the cheaper ones out there just have a point, and that's not going to do what you need it to do. That's going to go in there, and that's going friction is just going to stop that if you hit bone. So you want that chisel tip. That's gonna pound through that bone if you get a front shoulder shot. The mechanical broadheads, in my opinion, are the way to go. But I will tell you also, if you're starting out, you might want to go with the fixed broadheads, just for the simple fact, until you start getting comfortable with that buck fever, or that, you know, that anxiety of the shot. These are you know, they can cause problems if they hit bone. So unless you've got the power, like I have with this bow, to go through that bone, it could cause some issues. So keep that in mind. The release I use is a Scotch release. Now these releases are the top of the line. They are more expensive, but you get what you pay for, and they are an awesome release. This one is a Bitty Goose. It has a buckle that you get fitted on there, and then this particular model just has the little lanyard here. Okay, it doesn't have the big bulky rod sticking out of it like some of the cheaper versions do, and it's hanging out of the way. So I have all this, you know, I can use my hands doing whatever I have to, and there's been times where I forget I even have it on, and I'm sitting there looking for it, and it's on my wrist. So that's how comfortable this thing is, and it's easy. I can just grab it, hook it on, and I don't have that big bulky rod slapping into things and causing problems and noise and stuff. So the Scotch releases good line. There again with the broadheads and all this stuff, you've got all kinds of things out there that in all these products, and there's tons of manufacturers out there. You're just going to have to find what works for you. You know, you're not going to have the setup of a lifetime the first time you set your bow up. You're going to go through releases, you're going to go through arrows, you're going to go through sights, you're going to go through rests, you're going to go through all that stuff, and it's going to be trial and error. So don't get frustrated, stick with it, and eventually you're going to start learning what you like and what you don't like. So I guess that's all I have for you today. I want to thank you for watching this, and stay safe out there.